Another episode of Oxygen Not Included. We're checking in on our main colony before we head back over to Gargani. A couple of little things that I tweaked. The Slickster stables had one little error set up in them. Hold on 1 second. What it was is that the critter drop-offs I had neglected to set with auto wrangle surplus on. So what was happening is, in rare occurrences, two critters would be dropped off at the same time, and it would push the population of one of the stables over the 7 that I have it set at, and then they would become glum and they would stop producing eggs at such a high rate. So we changed all that so that now they distribute the critters evenly across the 12 farms that we have, and then they'll produce eggs at a much higher rate, and then any extras that get put in here will automatically get wrangled and put into the stables on the end so that they get called off. So that's been fixed, but it caused us to have a drop in egg population, and so it'll take us a little while to get that back up. A couple of these also got out. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I think that's when a duplicate was bringing them through to drop them off. They would get dropped. You may have to work in some kind of pickup to handle that or something. But for now, it's not a big deal. Second thing I added in is this pump here was running pretty constantly. I didn't think it was necessary, so I came in through the side and I added a hydro sensor. This is pretty simple. It just says once it gets above 1 kilogram, turn this pump on, which means that these two tiles will fill up and spill over to here, and then that will cause the pump to kick on and drain that out until this tile no longer has at least 1 kilogram of oil. I may add in a filter gate, or a buffer gate, to make it so that it pumps for a while after it detects that. That way it empties this whole thing out. We'll see if it becomes necessary. Last thing, these aqua tuners in here had gotten overheated and seized up and created sand inside the steam chamber here. The reason was this hydrosensor was set to only pump out when there was above 500 kilograms, and what happened was because there's mixes of liquids in here, there was a tile here that was only 400 kilograms and it wasn't filling up because the other types of liquid came in and pressurized the chamber, so it was just sitting there at 400. So what I did is just change this to 1. So as long as there's water or some liquid on this tile, this system will run pumping liquid into the chamber down here. So hopefully that will keep it from seizing up. If this stops getting fluid in here, this system continues to hold the heat, because with no liquid in here, the doors open up and the heat stays down here and doesn't get transferred over. So these overheat pretty quickly and break. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it's back to working now. We'll see how it goes. I think that we've gotten it all dialed in the way we want it, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so now over to Gargani. We've done a few things here. One is that we dug out a water pit down here. Right now it's just a mixed pit. We'll end up working on that in a minute. I need to move this pump down and the pitcher pump down because all the liquid's settled lower. I'm going to pause for a second so that we can see everything. This pump is still pulling out all the gas. We're probably going to turn this off in a second because it's almost has all the gases sorted out. We may just put some automation on it so that once it detects oxygen, it shuts off like we do on the other side. But for now, we'll let it pump. I want to get some more of this natural gas pulled out. We have all that gas being stored in here. We've already got a good backlog set up. We just finished closing this off. We need to do a little more cleanup in here, and then we will get this turned on so that this starts storing all the natural gas as well. I just wanted to get all of it out of the map before we did anything else. We're starting to get a pretty nice clean area. We still have a lot of polluted oxygen, but I don't mind the polluted oxygen for now. It's still breathable. So, but this up here is very dense oxygen, so as we expand, it will fill out the base nicely, because this is set to continue pumping out oxygen until we hit 4 kilograms. I don't want to go, this can go all the way up to 20, but I don't want to do that much because we'll cause popped eardrums and other problems with our duplicates. We also have a little farm set up here. We actually got quite a bit of calories off of it from the first harvest, but then this water tank settled out, so we have to move the pump because right now they're not being irrigated. So we will do that shortly. We're going to work on putting in our system up here for collecting polluted water as well. I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that this drains off into a pit, and then also have 2 natural gas generators above it so they can drain into the same pit, and that's where we'll collect our polluted water. And then we'll set the pump here to drop it off up here after it fills these. That way we can drain this tank and then put our clean water tank over here. The biggest difficulty we're having with the colony right now is that we're still having some stress issues. Chrono is just at the edge of where her morale needs to be, so if she misses one of her morale bonuses, then it puts her into a stressful situation. Most of the other duplicates are not quite as tight on that. Sai also gains some stress because, like you can see right now, he has more skills than morale because we had to put him both in exosuit and super duper hard digging. So we need to do some work on getting some morale bonuses for our duplicates. So that's our priority here, other than getting our water sorted and our power up and running off the natural gas, because we want to have food and power all local on this colony. So I'm going to do a few things to get set up for what we're going to work on today, and then I'll be back. So I've set up a system for pumping water out of this container, so the polluted water or whatever gets sucked up through the liquid pump, comes up here to this filter that I built. So polluted water goes off to the left, and it's the standard design I have with the loop so that it makes sure these filters don't break. This one's set for regular water. We're building a tank over here for that. It's just a small one for now, so that when we get some, we have somewhere to go with it. Let's get all this. I want to get all this cleaned out of here. And then that way we can separate the polluted water from the water while we're cleaning this tank out. The polluted water prioritizes going to the farm and fills this up. Oh, it looks like I have some water in there. That's going to be a pain to get out. Let me see. So this is water. Let me make sure there's no water in these. Looks like we caught it before it made it in. So if we just deconstruct this tile and then replace it, that'll fix it. But anyway, the farm tiles get priority on the polluted water. Goes in here, keeps these nice and set up for maximum growth. This is this one has water in it, so let's deconstruct that tile, and then probably going to have to deconstruct that pipe. And then after that, those are filled up. Once this drain is built, then polluted water will go up here and drop off into this tank that we're going to be building. We're going to put a nice sized polluted water tank up here because we have a cool slush geyser here that we're going to tap into. In fact, we can start cracking that open. And then I'm going to put the natural gas generators up here where I can fit them. I have another geyser here that I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to look into that. But we only need a couple of generators for this base because we're not going to have too many power needs. If we do later, we can always expand. But that way the natural gas generators will also drop off their polluted water into the polluted water tank. And we'll set up system to pump back out to the farms once we get this tank emptied. For now, any liquid we have, we can kind of crack open now and get it down into here to get sorted. We just have to be careful. There's ethanol on the map. I do want to get that all together, but if I do get it in here, I'm going to have to add another filter, so I left space for that. But so for now, we want to get these liquids all sorted out and in the right places, and we'll work on getting the cool slush geyser set up so that we can start getting some nice cold polluted water into the base, and then work on getting our power set up, and then we should have enough food coming from these hydroponic farm tiles to supply the base as long as we don't get too many duplicates. So let's check that. So that is water, so we need to get rid of that. So this is before we set up the filter. We had some water sneak into a couple of these tiles. So now if I replace this, now that we got rid of that tile, we can replace the hydroponic tile and put a pipe back into it. So we should be good on food for the foreseeable future, because every one of these, every time that we harvest this, we get about 35,000 calories. These take I'm not quite sure how long they take. I think it's 4 days for them to grow, which means we're getting 8,000 calories a day basically from this farm, and with our 4 duplicates over here, we're going to consume about 4. So we should end up with a net gain on food here. We'll probably work on setting up a fish farm as well at some point, but for now we're going to live off of the bog jellies just to get us started. So we may also look at some of the other food options that are around here, because there's, nosh beans or something that's new, and several other things that we could look into and see what the best ones to use are. But for now, this is what we're going to have set up. So I'm going to get this area dug out and get it all set up so that we have a nice tank up here, and then start working on getting the natural gas generators in, and then I'll be back. I hopped back over to our other colony and found that we have a pretty serious issue. The water in our storage is gone. I don't know if we dropped something and then there was too hot and it boiled off, but we need to get that fixed because we have a lot of off-gassing happening. And more importantly, our eggs that are hatching in there are just sitting and chilling and not doing the evolution that they're supposed to be doing, which could also be a reason why we're having not necessarily problems with food, but a slowdown in our food. We have quite a few critters in there just sitting. So we're going to remove the automatic dispenser here. We'll put in a bottle emptier. Nice thing about this side of the colony is we have very few tasks left to do and lots of people, so this stuff gets done fairly quickly when I put it on a high priority. Of course, I made it out of obsidian, which somebody has to run and get, which was kind of silly, but whatever, it'll do. I don't know why somebody's not cooking off the barbecue either. Do I not have a cook? You know what? Max, you're now a cook. And who else we got? That was new. Son, you're also a cook. And Devon. Now we have several cooks. Okay, so this one we're going to set to water. We're going to set it at 9, enable auto bottle, so we can get the water into that pretty quickly. Our oxygen's still okay, even though we have a lot of off gas going on. Probably going to have to set up some kind of system in the base. Oh no, we already have a system in here to handle the gases. So this pulls out gas whenever this gas element sensor detects whether or not there's oxygen. And if there's oxygen that is sitting there for more than 5 seconds, it shuts off this gas pump. We should actually probably set that to 30 seconds so that it works a little better. And then all this does is pretty simple. Instead of running it to somewhere crazy, it just pumps whatever gas is in it out here, and it's typically supposed to be not oxygen, because this sensor should be detecting something other than oxygen. But oh, you know what? I have that in I gotta fix that. This is sitting in one of the spots where the gas pump is vacuuming, so it's constantly triggering that it's not oxygen because there's nothing there. So all we need to do is put the gas element sensor 1 block up. Put a new automation wire up. Because this is just going to run constantly, pulling the oxygen out of the base, which isn't a big deal. It'll just pump more in, but that's not what we want. We only want it pulling out when it doesn't detect oxygen. Let's make this high priority so I can get it done. Get back out of here. I don't know where this oil is coming from all over our base, too. Oh, it's because there's a slickster in here. So he's drinking up the carbon dioxide and dropping oil all over our base. That is a horrible sound. Okay, so let's take this, copy the settings from this, and then we'll get rid of this one. So now, because this sensor is detecting oxygen, it trips this filter, but the filter only turns the pump off if it's been detecting it for 30 seconds. What I should probably do is also make it so that once it detects it, it stays off for 30 seconds. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Excuse me. Right now. So to do that, I need a buffer gate. This will work the way that I want it to, once this gate's in place anyway. Oh, actually, I think I think I'm gonna want this before the knock gate. So what that's gonna do is when it detects, yeah, that'll be fine. When this is detecting oxygen, it'll shut this off. So once it detects oxygen for 30 seconds, it'll switch this to red. But as soon as it doesn't detect, as soon as this trips again because it detects something else, and it'll send a signal through, and it'll stay on for whatever time I set here until it detects oxygen of 30 seconds. So we're going to make this 60 seconds. So if this trips because it detects something, it turns the gas pump on for at least 60 seconds, and it will stop after this thing has been sending a green signal for the 60 seconds we need. Or no, it'll stop as soon as it does, and then it'll turn back on as soon as this hits again. So that'll be good. We'll leave it like that for now, and then come back and check on it. This is full now, so we can turn this off. I'm just going to leave it there in case we need it. We have 3 of these. That'll be plenty. So they're working their heart's content. This is all still good. This system is still running great. We're actually getting a surplus of dirt now, which is great. Still haven't gotten up to a surplus of larva eggs yet, but I think we're getting there. Actually, we're only down to 3 here. Let's check on these stables. 7, 8, 1, 7, 7, 7, 4, 0, 1, 5, 7, 7, 4. Okay, so we're having some issues here. Are these all set correctly? Oh, another autosave. This is the reason we turned the autosave to 10 cycles when we were over here. Because it is pretty intense. So this is on 7 and auto wrangle. And this currently has 7. This is the same. This one only has 1. Which is odd. The big question is, do they all have less than 7? What are the priorities on these? These are set at 5. These are set at 7. So it should definitely be stocking these first. You know what, I'm going to set these real quick to... 0, just to get these pulled out and put back in the other ones. It'll take us a minute. We'll come back and check on it after we go back to Gorgani. So we're starting to get polluted water built up. We cracked open the cool slush geyser. We'll have to get somebody on research again to analyze it to see when it's active. But we gotta put a tile back in there because I think we broke our Great Hall. I also noticed that I scrubbed Chronos before she got the sculpting done, so we'll have to get that finished. Yep. Not an expert at the game. I do my best. So we still haven't got any water. That's okay. I want to put a pitcher pump in. So we need it for the toilets for now. And then we'll put one in up here eventually. I'm going to actually put it right like that. And I'm going to extend this room down. 3 blocks. We'll work out all the details for that later, but at least that'll give us some space to get water collected in here. Oh, we had another lag spike. Oh, good. Okay, so we'll let that finish up while I connect this. So now we have enough power on this line to connect this here. This gas pipe I want to connect over here because I want to filter it out because there's mixed gases still in there. I believe. Yeah, we still have a couple little pieces of polluted oxygen mixed in, so we'll run it through the filter until we get it all cleared out. And then later we'll switch it to a direct line into the natural gas storage. Okay, so we want to put a ladder in here. And then we will deconstruct, scroll across, and that should be fine. There we go. Now I can get out. And once they deconstruct these tiles, then this pump will work. That'll be good. Let's check out our blueprints. I think we can handle one more person here. Let's bring this person in. We need to get a researcher. So let's check out what are the skills for other people. Nobody has an interest in it. So Ashman's going to be a researcher. And then once he gets another skill point, he can be our field researcher. So we can get these geysers analyzed. Okay. So the next thing we want to work on is getting a spot here cleared out for our power system. So we're going to do a row like that. Put a ladder in for now. That's for scaffolding. We're going to clear this entire section out like this. Probably come in over the top and fix up this corner so that we can seal it all up. But that'll work for now. So I'm going to let this all build up, and then we'll get our natural gas generators put back in, and we will be back after that's all set up. I just checked it out, and this episode's actually pushing a little longer than I'd like. We're 27 minutes, so I'm just going to quickly say that we will be back in the next episode working on the Gorgani colony, getting power set up, and then that should be the last system that we need to get the basic setup here. But we're going to spend some more time doing a little more advanced stuff here before we go into back to the main colony. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, subscribe, do all that stuff. It really helps out. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.